The league is scared of the Oklahoma City Thunder because of a few reasons, but one was highlighted in a Bleacher Report article talking about the weaknesses of every single NBA team this upcoming season, and it looked like they couldn't come up with a weakness for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's what it was looking like. They kept on talking about it like, what is the weakness in the squad? Because during the offseason, they fixed every single hole that they had in their roster. They fixed their lack of shooting when it came to Josh Giddey, as they got Alex Caruso and also got a better defender in him as well. Then they helped out on interior defense and rebounding by going and getting probably the biggest name center in the free agency this season in Isaiah Hartenstein. They re-signed Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins to long-term friendly deals as well. We have them locked up for the future. So it's one of those things where you look at it and it's like, what did the Oklahoma they got better at everything. So what is the hole in this squad? And they talked about it a little bit and talked about how Jalen Williams, J-Dub, that could be the hole there, but they aren't expecting it to be. So we're going to break down the article, talk about it, talk about Jalen Williams as well in this video. Before we get all that, don't want to take a moment and say that around 73% of you guys that are coming back and watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Like I've said before, if you guys enjoy the content, you find out, and you find yourself coming back on a regular basis, it'd mean the world to me if you guys could hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the video at hand, talking about this Bleacher Report article. And I know we all have mixed emotions about Bleacher Report. I know I do. Some articles I love, some articles I absolutely hate, and I'm like, how do they have a job there? I have very mixed emotions and feelings for them. This article, though, it looks like they were hyping up the Oklahoma City Thunder, and so I like it. I think they did a very good job in that article then, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and get into the first piece of information from this article. The first little, tad bit that we have right here. What's the weakness in that rotation? Hartenstein takes care of the size, physicality, and rebounding concerns from last season. Caruso puts a dead-eye, modest volume shooter defenses will actually respect in the Josh Giddey spot. Secondary creation could be a little prickly. We saw that haunt Oklahoma City during the playoffs where Jalen Williams couldn't really get going. Neither Caruso nor Hartenstein fills that void. And they do have a point right there. All right? What if we can't get someone going besides Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when it comes to the playoffs? I don't really think that's going to be a concern. When you talk about Jalen Williams, look at how much he's improved from year 1 to year 2. You can expect a similar improvement from year 2 to year 3 as well. I feel like that is a crucial year for every NBA player, year number 3, because you're about to come up on that final year of the rookie contract. You have no clue what the club's going to do with you. And it's where you really show how much you've improved and gotten acclimated to the NBA. It's when you finally show what kind of player you're going to be for the rest of your career. Are you going to be an all-star type player? Are you going to be an all-NBA type player? Are you going to be a role player? Are you going to be a bust? Year number 3 is very crucial, and we're going to see that from Jalen Williams, J-Dub, this upcoming season. We are. And I don't expect him to kind of flatline when it comes to the playoffs this time. I think some of it is just, it's your first playoff experience. You look at a lot of players. Do they generally play at the same level they were during their first playoff run? No. Very rarely do you ever see that. The only player I can think of would possibly be like a LeBron James. The greats, the legends of the game. People that are considered top 10 all time. No offense to J-Dub, right now he's going into his 3rd year, so you can't really put him okay, he has that potential right now, because we don't know, and that's why his 3rd year is very important. I do think, though, he won't flatline this upcoming season when it comes to the playoffs. I don't think we got to worry about that secondary shot creation. Also because we have Chet. We have Chet Holmgren, so I don't know why we'd be worried as well, because he could be a solid second option as well. J-Dub and Chet Holmgren are going to switch between the second and third options throughout the entirety of the season, even in the playoffs. So this question of who is the second option, it's like they're forgetting Chet exists. So it was a little disrespectful by that. Going into the second piece of information that we have right here in the article, somebody else will, and it'll probably be J-Dub himself. He has already increased his self-creation and is going to get better. So will Chet Holmgren, whose own role should broaden with a less ball-dominant running mate in Giddey's stead. Wiggins can generate hoops for himself and others. Wallace will get better. The Thunder also have the assets to consolidate or reorient their pecking order. Assuming they need it, which they may not, because they're that good, that complete. They might be, when you look at roster, when you look at the future with all the assets that we own, considering draft capital, how young our guys are, how, look at how small some of the contracts are. Example, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. How long-term this team is so far succeeding. We are the most complete team. We are, no doubt about that. I don't think any other team is as in a good position as Oklahoma City, especially considering people were considering us the black eye of the league 2 years ago to now we are the most complete team. We did the rebuild right. People switch up really fast when they're proven wrong. They are. All right, that's just the case. That's just, what happens. Being considered the black eye of the league, and this is going to be one of the worst rebuilds of all time. This will force Oklahoma City to relocate to all of a sudden now this team could go win a few championships in the next few years. It's a crazy switch up. All right? That's just how good we are. That's how complete. We did the rebuild the right way. We didn't take shortcuts. We set out a clear goal of this is what we want to do to get back to the promised land. This is what we want to do, and we're going to follow the steps completely. And we did. Everything has gone according to plan so far, and we are on schedule. Maybe even a little bit ahead of schedule, which can get you a little worried. But I wouldn't be. When you look at how our players have been playing, how they've been progressing, you look at how everyone's progressing in Thunder organization, past players as well, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, some other guys. Serge Ibaka was someone considered. The only reason it came to my mind was because I saw a random Ibaka jersey out in public today, which is crazy to see. I know I have a Roby jersey back here, but that was even crazy to see out there. But you look at the potential, how much we've kind of cultivated players here. Paul George as well had a resurgence in Oklahoma City. You just look at what happened. Steven Adams, Dennis Schroeder had a resurgence in OKC. Chris Paul. You look at everything that's happened here. Some of our current guys that have been, success stories. Lou Dort, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet, J-Dub, like all those guys. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, who was cut by the 76ers, came over, signed with Oklahoma City, and now he's considered one of the better three-point shooters in the NBA. So we develop our talent well, which is why I think our youth isn't a concern. We develop and mature guys fast because we know we're a small market team. We're not always going to be able to lock down our stars. Sometimes they're going to go to, large market teams. Just that's the facts. And so we try to make sure we can compete while they're young, while we can get the most out of them. Which is why I think Jalen Williams will have a great year next year. And when you look at the stats, it also shows. When you look at what he did last season, all right, 19 points a game. With 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists, half a block a game, a steal per game, which is nice. So defensively, he's solid. He is solid. He has that wingspan and, height and weight to be a good guy who can guard 4 positions. Less than 2 turnovers a game. I like to see it around 1.4 turnovers per game. Handle the ball a little bit better, pass a little bit better, but it's fine. 2.5 fouls per game. Once again, I'd like to see that decrease just a tad bit. But the shooting percentages are what really stick out to me. In your second year, scoring 19 points a game, you're shooting 54% from the field and 43% from behind the three-point line. That shows an insane improvement and level of maturity to the NBA style of play from this guy who, yes, he's 23 years old, but that was his second season in the NBA. 6'5", shoots 52% on corner threes. He shot 75% of his threes are assisted, and then 24% of all his shots are three-pointers. So he's not really taking the three ball at all. He really isn't. All right, I would like to see him take a little bit more three-pointers. I feel like we're going to be able to space out the floor really well next year with Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, whoever starts between the two. Even if we would go crazy and have like Isaiah Joe or Aaron Wiggins start instead, have those two guys come off the bench. I think our floor spacing is going to be even better now. You're not going to have to worry about double teams, not being able to drive to the paint because you're going to have someone playing help defense because one of our guys can't shoot when we just stick them in the corner. Now we're going to have shooters on the court at all times. So it's going to open up the floor and open up for more possibilities for scoring and shooting opportunities for J-Dub, even Chet Holmgren. I would expect both of them to average close to 22 points a game next season. All right, Chet around 20. All right, close to 20 for sure. I would expect J-Dub to average close, maybe even 25. Bold statement there, but I think he could do that with how much better we got on the court where now the lane's not clogged. He can drive in and be physical. But his three-point shot, he shoots at a high efficient rate. He might take 2 or 3 more three-pointers a game next season. I don't know. We'll see. That's why I'm not worried about who's going to be this guy that steps up as the second option. I'm not saying J-Dub is the for sure second option because Chet will also be there and they'll switch their roles. They will. They'll switch between the second and third option. I'm just saying that's our only hole. that we're not sure if J-Dub will be the second option or Chet will, I'm fine with that being our only hole. All right? I'm fine with that being our only weakness because that means everything else is great. Our defense is great. That's not, worry part anymore. Our shooting is great. We're not worried about that anymore, especially since we got rid of Giddey, who was our worst shooter on the team. Rebounding, we got better. It's everything we got better at. It's just who's that second option. That's not something we should be worried about at all. And that's why the Thunder, we might end up winning it all because we don't have any holes, whereas the Boston Celtics, they're getting older. What's the dynamic of the team going to be like with Jaylen Brown now? They have some questions that need to be asked over there. The Timberwolves, is Cat and Rudy Gobert enough to be able to hold it down? Have they been playing lackluster? Stuff like that. The Mavericks, are they going to be able to piece it together again after losing arguably one of their best players in Derrick Jones Jr.? And is Klay Thompson going to be enough for them? There's a bunch of teams that have holes over there, whereas the Thunder, we don't have it. So we should be the favorite out of the West, and we should be able to win it all this season. That's all I got for this video, though. Let me know what you guys personally think. What would worry you guys about the Thunder? Let me know down in the comment section below. What's the only thing we should worry about with Oklahoma City? That's all I got. See you guys in the next video.